So I walked down these halls about 17 years ago. I feel a little old for saying that, but I'm going to be 35 this year, and in 2001, it was my first time walking down these halls, and never would you think you'd be back talking to anyone. But I don't want to start just with that or my story just yet. I do want to start with some cool news, and some of my team doesn't know that, and they're here, but this week officially, I'm the CEO of my own commercial architecture firm and my own nonprofit. Thank you. I want to start with that because the whole reason for me telling you guys what the mindset is for success would be to tell my story and how I got to where I am. But it wasn't easy. It wasn't a cakewalk. I can't talk either. But the biggest thing that I wanted to share with you guys is that it does take hard work, but you have to listen to the people that are in your lives that are leading you. And the professors here have played a big role in my life, so listen to them. They have good advice. Trust what they say. They've walked down these halls. They've talked to so many students. And really, they're a big reason why I am the way I am and how I design. So I do just want to talk to you guys a little bit about my story, which is a little terrifying also because not a lot of people know my story. But I think it'll help you guys believe what I have to say, and maybe some of you will relate to me, and some of you will keep going and doing what you're doing. So what is the right mindset? So I'm going to touch on some key things for you guys today. If you're note takers, I'm already giving you extra credit. Note taking is so important. I tell all my team that all the time. You're never going to remember 10% of what anyone says to you, but if you write it down, you'll probably remember a little bit more. So the first key factor is be honest. Be honest with yourself, with the people you work with in the industry, your friends, your clients. Honest with yourself is probably the biggest one. You really need to assess the things that you need to improve on, the areas that you can grow in. And I'm going to touch on all these in my life story and in the professional world too. Humility is huge. Also kind of goes hand in hand with honesty. Being humble in every experience that you guys have, always understanding that there's going to be someone that knows more, someone that you can learn from, areas where you guys can grow. I think that's huge too. Integrity kind of goes hand in hand with humility and honesty, trust. Also, these things all work together. They're kind of like a recipe. If you take one out, it's terrible, right? And then confidence is also important. And there's a good confidence and a bad confidence, and I want to talk to you guys about that too. But then what are the actions to that? And those are setting goals and your work ethic. So for a second, I'm just going to leave that up while I talk a little bit about my story. And I say I'm nervous about talking about my story because it's not easy to talk about. When you grow up as a kid, there's a lot of things you don't talk about, but to understand where I'm at now and why I can say I'm a CEO of a commercial architecture firm, which is really crazy. I feel very underqualified, by the way. But that's where I think you all need to understand these things are things that I live by daily, and I fail at them. I'm not perfect at them. You're not going to be perfect every day, but it will help you in your future and help shape your journey depending on what your life goal is. So where do I start? So I come from immigrant parents. My mom, she was originally born in Germany during the Holocaust. I'm dating myself a lot right now. So she immigrated over here, and her family was sponsored. So they grew up pretty poor in downtown LA, East LA, Montebello, and met my dad, who came from immigrants from Italy. So when they met, it was kind of hard times. And when I was little, we were pretty poor, and it's the 80s. There aren't computers. Nobody has a smartphone. You all have your house phones. And, it's a blue-collar world. And, sometimes you have goals and dreams, but you don't know how or if you're going to achieve them. And we weren't very well off financially, so we moved a lot, I think like 22 times before I was 18. Switched schools a lot. We came from a family on my mom's side that was heavy into gangs and violence, and became dangerous for my family. That was half of why we moved sometimes. Our lives were threatened, or a couple times my cousins would try to hurt us or take our lives, so we would move. So it's, this understanding of, gosh, how am I going to like achieve my dream at some point? And so as a kid, I didn't set goals. I didn't understand, how to, sorry, I'm going to time myself so I don't talk for like 2 hours real quick. But it's just some of the things that you think of as a kid. You're like, how do I change this? Because I think the thing that I really wanted was to never be in a situation where I couldn't control my environment. And as a kid, you can't control where you come from. You are in the environment and you don't know how to talk about it and you don't know how to change it, but all you can do is change it once you can, right? The second then you have the ability to make the change, then you do it. So as a kid, it's like, how did I survive it? So there was always someone that came alongside me at different points in my life to get me through those struggles. I remember when I was really little, my aunt, she knew as kids we had pride, right? We didn't want to talk about what we were going through. So she would give us odd jobs in her house and she would give us money, and we felt like we weren't just being given handouts, and we could still buy clothes for ourselves or toys. But those were like the best Christmases when me and my sister and brother would save up the money she'd give us and we bought each other toys. And those are the ones that I remember the most. And then I remember growing up, there was this woman at my church when I was in junior high, and it was just like this thing where I didn't have to tell her what I was going through. She kind of knew. And so she would, same thing, tell me I can come over, clean her house, which really I would do for like 30 minutes, and then we would like play with puzzles and she'd talk to me. But she would pay for all my church camps and anything that I needed, at that time. And it's that unspoken need. As a kid, you don't want to talk about it. You don't, and it's not that you necessarily have pride, you just don't want to feel like an outcast and like you don't fit in. Being poor and growing up that way, you're bullied a lot. I was bullied a lot my whole life because I didn't have the cool shoes or I was wearing the same one like every day. My sister was older than me and we'd wear hand-me-downs, but by the time I got to high school, I was about 6 or 7 inches taller than her. I didn't fit into her shoes for sure, and so I was wearing my brother's clothes. And so I just got bullied in high school, wearing the same things over and over. I guess it wasn't accepted in those days to be homosexual, so they thought I was gay my freshman year. That didn't go very well. So, but it was just through these challenges I knew, there was just always someone that got me through it. And in high school, there was this family, she was my best friend, and her family kind of took me in actually most of junior high and high school. And I was like their weekend kid or their summer kid. So in junior high and high school, as soon as like Friday came, I was just at her house all weekend. I never left. They fed me. They would, take me wherever that they were going. They'd pay for everything. And then during the summer, I don't even know that I went home. It was just this family that kind of took me in. And it, again, was like this unspoken, I've got you. You don't have to talk about it. My friend had no idea what was going on, but her parents did. And the cool thing at that point in time is, I got to see what like a hardworking family looked like and what I wanted to be and what I didn't want my kids to go through if I ever had them one day. And that family is actually the family that told me, hey, you should probably apply to college. And I was like, well, I've always wanted to be an architect, but I didn't know how I would get there, what I would do. Again, it's like 90s and like she had a computer, a very big, massive computer that we can go on and look things up from, but I didn't know where to start and was one of like 5,000 kids at a public high school in Downey. So they sat me down and they helped me figure out, this is how you apply to college, and you can apply to financial aid, Christie. And so it was just really crazy how, there's always just someone there to kind of guide me through. And it was really encouraging because it made me really appreciate them and the knowledge that they had. It made me realize you do have to rely on people during certain phases. So when I finally did apply to college, I got into Cal State Long Beach. I was like, all right, I'm not gonna do the junior college road because I just knew that I was gonna have to work a lot. And I knew that it was gonna take a lot of sacrifice and a lot of hard work to get through the next however many years I was here. So the first challenge, I think, was working full-time and going to school full-time. It's really hard. I worked at Kinko's, which back then it was Kinko's. It wasn't FedEx Office yet. And the best job I ever had, and I was just telling Ed about this today, and I was like, I hate to admit it, but I would like go in there an hour before a presentation was due, and I'd go print my board, pick it up, and I would drive out over here, which back then was so convenient. But it got me through college because I couldn't afford printing anything back then. I was helping my parents pay rent. I was supporting my family and myself off FedEx Kinko's making copies salary. That's not high, right? But it was appreciation of what I learned there. I didn't know how to use a computer when I started working there, and I didn't own one. So I would work the swing shift Monday through Friday, 3 to 11, and then I would, during graveyard, do my homework. So got me ready for architecture, I told Ed. I was already pulling all-nighters and doing the general ed classes, and really it was just, I had a goal. And I think that's where I want to start talking about these things. It's like, I was honest with myself at that point in time. It's like, I needed to come to terms with the fact that I couldn't just live off school scholarships. That wasn't going to be enough to pay my parents' rent. That wasn't going to be enough to pay the other bills that come up in a blue-collar family. Your car breaks down. Where does that money come from when you're paycheck to paycheck? So I had to be honest with myself and realize, like, what are these things and these steps that I'm going to need to take to get to this point of success. So I want to start talking to you more about each one. So I'm going to grab this real quick. So one of the biggest things I learned is, you can't necessarily be a product of what your story is. You need to overcome your story, or you need to overcome whatever it was or whatever it is that defines you. When you let it be the, definition of who you are, then you're never going to rise above it. But if you figure out, how to step outside of it, then you will. And I think one of the biggest things in that is when you are honest with yourself, it helps you kind of get through it. When I started college, nobody supported me in my family. They were like, oh, you're going to fail. If I can't work 2 jobs and go to college, you can't do it. It was just a lot of negativity and no support. And so I was like, okay, well, you know what? I have a goal, and I know that this isn't going to be my story. I'm not going to be paycheck to paycheck and relying on my children when I'm an adult. So I need to make a difference, and I need to make a change. And what I realized at that moment was, at that point in time, Kinko's was my only job, but I needed to get and soak out of it whatever I could to prepare myself for the next job. And 2 years into working there, I started working at a small architecture firm. And I'll be honest, it was awful. It was this guy that came in one day and he met me, and I was making his copies for him there. And so I started working with him out of his house. And I didn't know anything, and he didn't want to hear that I was just still a student who only knew so much. And it was at that point, and I worked for him for like 1.5 years, 2 years, I realized, there is a time when you can say no and walk away from a job that's really not helping you. When you get as much of an experience, you can walk away. But when you do find the right job and you do find the right mentors, you have to hold on to them, and you have to get as much experience out of them as you can. Because it will shape your future. So it's like, okay, so how did I get to where I'm at now? How did I become a CEO of my own architecture firm? And I can tell you the crazy part is I start this architecture firm with 1,100,000 square feet worth of work. It's like, how do you get there, right? That's crazy. It's like, as architects and designers, you think, maybe I can be self-employed and do stuff on the side, but how do you form a firm that could maybe hire 20 people right off the bat? And it started with me being honest with myself. And so it's crazy how all these things kind of loop together, because the honesty and humility and all that kind of goes hand in hand. But that honesty also creates trust in your clients and the people you work with and your bosses. And they'll pour into you so long as you are real with them. You just got to be real, be yourself, don't be fake. I hate the term or sentence, fake it till you make it, because that does not apply to architecture or design. You cannot fake it. And the one thing you'll learn is there are a lot of talented designers out there. So what's going to set you apart? What's going to make you different than that other talented designer? how are you going to compare to the 30 people that you're competing against for some design, whether it be industrial or graphics or architectural? It doesn't really matter. In architecture, I think the course of my experience has been in all levels. On the industrial side, graphic side, I've done interior architecture, exterior architecture. You kind of touch on everything. So at that point, you really have to be honest, because you're like, what are you going to do to separate yourself from everyone else? So while I was still going to school here in 2007, I got an internship at Interior Architects, and they're one of the best, I think, interior firms in the country. And I was thankful for that internship. And one of the teachers here at that time was my professor, Neil Paponi, and he was also the managing principal at the firm at the time. So I interviewed just like everyone else, competed against a couple people, got it. And that was coming up on the turn of 2009 when no one had jobs. So here's where some honesty came in, and I was thinking, okay, so I'm still in school and I just got this internship at Interior Architects, but can I really afford to just have that? No. So I was still working at FedEx office, Kinko's at the time. And I just knew that, okay, well, I'm gonna have to have 2 jobs. It's gonna be okay. Sorry, probably should have grabbed a tissue when I walked out here. This is me being a little real with you guys right now. I might need to grab one in a second. But the crazy thing is it's that honesty, right? You have to be realistic with yourself. You can't just jump into an internship or jump into a job without thinking about the full picture. And the thing that I would recommend to all of you, I don't know what level you are in school, but working in the field that you're wanting to work in when you graduate, before you graduate, is huge. It also plays a lot into what you gain from your teachers while you're here, because there is going to be a level of understanding that you have that's greater when you're actually working in the field and they're teaching you at the same time, because you start to appreciate more what they have to say. A lot of times, us as young kids, we have hard heads and we don't like to listen to the adults or the mentors or the people in our lives, but they give you the advice for a reason. So if you don't soak it in and take it in, it's like at the fault of yourself, because they're only there to love and care for you. But so I decided, okay, I'm going to do that. My family fell into harder times while I was a junior. Thank you. I get really nervous, by the way, so I'm just lucky that I'm not like dropping the microphone or shaking things right now. Thank you. I don't like it when people look at me, so the fact that you're all looking at me right now is like terrifying. So that went where it wasn't supposed to go yet. Okay, so basically we fell in a little harder times, and so I had to pick up a 3rd job. And I'm just getting into the program, no big deal. And work got a little harder, and now I have to pick up a 3rd job. So I actually started my own company. I've been a CEO before. I started my own company back then, doing photography, graphic design, invitations. I mean, working at Kinko's for, at that point, I think it was like 6 years. I had done like 1,000 wedding invites. It's like, I think I could do a little bit better than the templates they offer. So I was like, okay, I could do this on the side. My dad had just kind of like hit a wall and left the family. So left me as the sole breadwinner. I was like, oh crap. Okay. And it's like an unsaid conversation now in my adult life with my professors. They all knew. It's like I said stuff to some of them, but I didn't say everything to them. Because, I'd show up sometimes maybe with not as much process, but that was just because I'd like come off my 2 hours of sleep for like the 10th night in a row. And I was just struggling to get by. But thankfully, I would pull it together and I would get my stuff done, and still found the value in staying in school. Because at that point I could have quit, but I'd worked so hard to submit that portfolio. And then during that time, my dad came back and got a little stability. But then he left again right before we graduated, and right before I graduated, I got really sick and almost didn't graduate. The stress had just kind of taken over my body at that point, and again, that's where I had to be honest with myself. So I had only like a month left of school, I think, and I somehow pulled it together. If you could imagine, I was probably about 30 pounds lighter than I am now. just life gets hard sometimes, you know? But my attitude was, okay, well, I just graduate and then I'll just get through it and it'll all be fine. I still had the 3 jobs, but now we're coming up on 2009, right? So my LA office went down to 2 people. And it was the intern and one other person, and everyone else went on hold for 6 months. I was one of those people. And I started to get better, and my Kinko's job was still there, and they're like, you can work as many days a week as you want. And the thing that was really significant about that, and I always valued that job. Like Kinko's is one of those jobs where like everyone would call in sick, and they're like, I'm making copies for people. People always would tell me that everyone sucks there when they would go, and everyone's just such a jerk to them. I'm like, yes, that's true. They are. I can't defend them. Like, they do suck. They're kind of awful. Sorry I wasn't there. Like, but because I appreciated the job and I appreciated what I got out of it, in 2009, when nobody was working, I had a full-time job. And I still had my side business. And I worked my butt off there too. And so they held me. So the fact that they held me when nobody, I mean, first they did a round of layoffs and I wasn't part of that, thank the Lord. And then second, they did the 2 people there in 6 months. So they brought in new management like over a course of time and started bringing us all back. I remember when they started bringing us all back, it was 2010, the following work year. And we had already been out of school for a while. And so they brought me back kind of late, like before that. And all I could think of was like, thank God I had all these jobs, right? Like I didn't have my parents to fall back on. I had nobody else to fall back on. It's like, you do it yourself or I'm in my car too. And so the crazy part was at that point, I had been already kind of close to 10 years at Kinko's. And I was like, well, I don't have health insurance yet at IA. They can't afford to bring me on. Architecture still wasn't like booming. It's like the last thing to kick back in during that time. And I just stayed at Kinko's until I can get full-time with benefits at IA. And then when they finally did that, I was like 2 months from 10 years at Kinko's. I was like, well, I kind of would like a little like statue or globe or something that says I've been here for 10 years. But at that point, I just thought about it. I was like, gosh, I've been working weekends for 10 years since I was 18. I was like 28. And some of you are like, God, probably, you know. But hey, you know, you have to be honest with yourself and what it's going to take. Some of you will have the support of your parents, will be able to live off financial aid. Some of you don't. Some of you in this room could totally relate to me right now. Life sucks and it's hard. But I'll tell you that prepared me for the architecture world because it is a tough industry. It is super competitive. Working in downtown LA, it's one of the most competitive in the country. I mean, compared to New York, San Francisco, it was one of the best firms I had worked for, and it sucks sometimes. We would work 80 hours a week a lot. So my 3 jobs is great preparation for that. So I just felt like, well, at least I was in one building working the 80 hours rather than like 3 different places driving constantly. And I learned a lot. And so I think when I talk about honesty, I'll go into the other ones too, but when I got there, it was tough, you know, but there was so much that I can gain from the experience. One of the best design principals I've ever worked for, he's still there. I learned so much from him, and he was the most humble person I'd ever met. And he's traveling all over the world working on big projects, and he was the most humble. He cared about my opinion, and I'm like, you know, 1 year out of school, so to me, it's like I have nothing to give him, but he would still ask my opinion. And you kind of like think, wow, okay, how did he become the way he was? And then I had an architect there also, best architect I ever worked for, same, super humble, knew so much information. We could probably like put a full set of drawings together for a 12-story high-rise in his sleep. But he was so down to earth, so nice, didn't have a chip on his shoulder. And I was like, gosh, like, how are these people so nice to me? Because a lot of people in the architecture world and the design world are not. They're awful. You don't want to work under them. They've got all kinds of chips on their shoulders. They've got all kinds of arrogance. And so when you find the ones that are incredibly successful, you're like, whoa, like, how are they the way they are? And so even though working in downtown LA and working 1 million hours was hard, I was like, I'm going to soak up as much information from them as I can. And what I learned was, yeah, they were talented, but their character was amazing. And so what was it about their character that was separating them from everyone else? Because you think about it, the architecture world's incredibly competitive, and they were doing all the top entertainment projects in LA. MGM, NBC, Univision Radio, Universal Studios. I mean, you name it, they were working on it. He was traveling all over, so it's like, gosh, he's so sought after. His clients never leave him, the design director. They're with him for 30 years. Like, what is it? So, him and I would have conversations, but it was just so much about character. So I'll take a break from my experience for a second. I kind of want to touch on these things real quick, and then I'll come back to the experience. But character is so big. Being genuine is so big. You really just have to, sorry, I need to check my time. You really just have to pay attention to your character in all these situations. And like I said, you seek out the ones that are super successful and learn as much from them as you possibly can, because they're the ones that are going to help you become successful yourself. And that was the most amazing thing, is it wasn't like, oh, I'm going to teach you what I know coming from these people, and then you need to stay by my side my whole life. No, the people that care the most about you know that at some point you need to spread your wings and fly away, but they're going to be there to spread that knowledge to you while they're in your life. And they were so willing to do that, even though they knew I wasn't going to be there forever. So I just want to talk about honesty for a second, even though I've been talking about it, but it is the most important thing. You have to basically just get over the things that you don't want to admit to yourself are things that you need to work on and improve. So if there is a sense of pride in you, you have to let it go. You have to come to terms with that. When I had those mentors, they probably hated me because I asked them 1,000 questions at first. Because when you first start, you don't know how to build a high-rise. You don't know how to detail 90% of what they're showing you. You don't even understand how most of the details come together. So I remember, in addition to those guys, there was a lighting guy. His name was Gary, and he sat next to me. I probably asked him like 1,000,000 questions, and I know I annoyed the crap out of him. But he was so patient, and it was just because I knew that the things that I was working on were so important that it wasn't okay for me to fake it. I needed to talk to them and ask them and make sure, hey, is this right? Like, what would you do? What is this? I don't know what this means. And so that was huge. And owning up to your mistakes is also part of that honesty portion, When you screw up, be honest about it, tell them up front, don't let them find out, because in architecture it's like maybe sometimes a $50,000 mistake, sometimes $1 million mistake. You do not want to be responsible for the $1 million mistake. That has not happened to me. But that's just because I am super scared to be wrong, and I'll check myself 1,000 times. There's nothing wrong with that. Your bosses will appreciate it when you check your work 1,000 times. That's totally deviating, but that's just me being a boss. And so I think that's like really big. Honest with your team. And I will start talking about team now too. Teams are important. I know in school I hated working on group projects sometimes, but then you get out into the working world and that's all you do. So if you don't like it now, I'm sorry, it's only going to get worse. You rarely work in an isolated one-person job, and if you do, that's all you're probably going to be doing for the rest of your career. You do not want to be the dedicated job captain that doesn't talk to anyone else. And if you do, awesome, but you're still going to have to talk to people. Like, there is no job that requires no communication. And honing in on each individual person's way of communication is part of the whole honesty factor. Like, if you're emotional and something bothers you, you got to tell them. Even in the working world, it's funny how that works. Your personal relationships and how you deal with them is going to play into your professional relationships and how you relate to them and deal with them and communicate. And so when you are honest, though, the key is people will trust you, and people will put their trust in you. And then when people are honest with you, you'll put your trust in them. And that's kind of how the dynamic of the team works, right? Like, if you don't trust them, they're not going to trust you. There's going to be like this level of like, oh, are they talking about me? Like, so you got to become relatable. You got to become like really open and lay it all out there. I am very honest with my, I guess, clients too. If I'm at a job site and I don't know what the heck we're looking at, I'm going to be like, well, I'll be honest and say I have no idea what that is, but I'm gonna go ask someone who's smarter than me that works in my office, and I'll go tell you and come back with an answer. Like, there's no reason why you need to, in any moment, fake it. You know, just be real. They'll probably find it funny sometimes anyways, so. But it's like that vulnerability when you're honest. You just have to be vulnerable with people. So the next thing I think is, you know, kind of going around again with humility. You have to see the positives and importance in all steps in the process. You know, I'm not here, like I said before, as a CEO without recognizing the steps. And the steps sucked for a while. You know, I think it wasn't until maybe 3 years ago I stopped working 80 hours a week. I closed my company, my former company, like 3 years ago. But you don't step into the architecture world making 100 grand. You know, you step in making like 30, 40 grand, if you're lucky 50 grand. And when you're still supporting your parents, and I was at that point, you have like 3 jobs still. It's just the fact of life. And so, you know, just understanding the steps that it's going to take to get to where you want to be. Yeah, I started early. So technically I'm 15 years into the industry, but technically I only graduated just under 10 years ago, be 10 years this May. And it's crazy to think, you know, even though I started 5 years before, technically I'm 15 years in. If you think about 80 hours a week, it's like I've worked 30 years. And so now I'm starting my firm. So I started to take away the years aspect of it, and it's how many hours did I pour into it, but at what cost, right? Like, I did sacrifice a lot. If I had a family, it would have been really hard to do what I did. So I'm really thankful that, you know, I didn't have to worry about having children at home or a husband that I was leaving pretty much 100% of the time. But I really had to just I had to swallow what it was going to take to get to where I'm at now. But you just have to stay humble, and you have to encourage one another in the process. So when you are working, I mean, I'm still pretty close to a lot of the people that I worked with. And it's because it's hard, and you have to be there for one another. But that humbleness and understanding that you're all going through it together and it's going to be tough sometimes, it builds a stronger team. You get like better product out of it. And it's those times when you all need to pull an all-nighter together and you have each other's support. Like, it means the world when they are there with you. And that kind of goes into treating everyone with respect. So the other thing that goes into that is, so working with all these big corporations. So I've worked on about 12 million square feet over the course of my career. And so the other day I was like, how do I visualize this for everyone? And I calculated it, and I think a football field is like 57,000 square feet or something like that. So it's like 225 football fields or something along those lines. If any of you are sports fans, you'll relate to me right now. But I was like, crap, that's a lot of square feet. And at one time, I was working on 2 million square feet at one time for Amazon. I was like, and I was at IA, and I had finally realized that I wasn't going anywhere at the LA office. So I took a job in Orange County, and it was to lead the Amazon projects that they were going to take on there. And even though I was like really sad to leave my mentors, I knew I wasn't going to get anywhere further at that office, and it was time for me to step away. So we were working on 2 million square feet, and I was like, crap, you know, okay, this is incredibly humbling. I feel very underqualified to do 2 million square feet. And it was a 500,000 square foot high rise in Seattle and a 500,000 square foot high rise in China, and then a lot of other projects in between, all for Amazon. And I was like, okay, well, immediately I needed to be honest with what I needed to get that done. I needed to be humble because that was a crazy opportunity. But there were a lot of people that were like, you can't do that, Christie, even that worked with me at IA. And they're like, you're not capable, you're not ready yet. And part of me was like, well, you know, I have faith in myself. And even though I am being humble right now, there are a lot of people around me that are my resources. And as long as I rely on them and I recognize that I need them, then I can do it. And that's where, like, I think having that continuous respect for other people and understanding your need for them in every situation, like, really came into play. So yeah, it's like, well, okay. And at that point, it's like, I jumped right into it. And we had a team and we were working on it, and I was traveling to Seattle and China, and I was like, wow, this is really crazy. and incredibly cool, but the people that were offering me this position saw that they could trust me, saw the quality of my work, knew that I could make it happen. And with my team, I was able to do it, but not alone. And then another experience I had, in the architecture world, you deal with a lot of facilities people, a lot of executive assistants and CEOs. And the executive assistants are just as valuable as a CEO. So are the facilities teams. They're the ones that know more about that company, how it's ran, than anyone else. And I would see other architects roll in and treat them like crap. Or other people roll in and they're like, oh, it's facilities, you know? And I was just really nice to them. And I was really appreciative of their role and what they did, and knew that they were going to make sure this project ran smooth. And one of them, it's funny, Bruno Murray is a big production company. They did Real World and Keeping Up with the Kardashians. And when I was at my Orange County office, we did 150,000 square feet for them in Glendale. And I loved that facilities guy. He's amazing. And when I left my last job at IA to the company that I was at, he gave me all kinds of work when I left. And it was just amazing because I saw the value in him and I appreciated him. And here I'm going to a firm that nobody knows exists, and it's like, what do they do? And he was giving me like thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars worth of work. And same experience I had when I was like, same thing, super humble. And there's this a constructions assistant that worked for the Irvine Company. And when I was working at my last job at IA in Orange County, he was on all these projects, and I was just super respectful, appreciated him, treated him with respect. And the Irvine Company is a tough company to get into, and they own a lot of Orange County and can give you a lot of work. And so I was just super respectful, was there for him when he needed it. And so he kept getting promoted. And so when I left my job in Orange County, and this never happens, he was just giving me work, thousands of square feet worth of work. And he's a big reason why I'm actually able to leave the company that I'm at, because they're going to give me all kinds of work when I leave. And to have the Irvine companies back is incredible. I was just telling Ed earlier that I actually beat out Gensler for a project that they're on. And to be able to stand up here, and Gensler's like a massive monster, I'm like, who am I? I don't even have a logo yet, guys. Like, I don't have a logo, I don't have a website. It's just my name. But because of my relationship with the client that I'd had for a few years now, and me appreciating them, and also with, I mean, it's crazy to think, with Irvine Company, they all pushed for me to get this project. And I beat out Gensler and SAA and Walcott and someone else, I can't remember, but all way bigger than me, all have logos and have had logos for way more than 15 years. So it's just crazy to think like that. Staying humble, appreciating people at every position will totally play into the relationships you have as you grow. And I will keep going. Sorry, see, I'm dropping things now, that's more normal. So that kind of goes into integrity and trust. Like those go hand in hand. Integrity, humility, I mean, honesty, that's all pretty much the same thing. No one will want to work for you if you're not awesome. If you're kind of a jerk, eventually they'll quit and leave you, and then your team goes nowhere. They won't put in the effort, they won't work hard for you. But you have to release pride to have good integrity. You just have to be a good person, honest, humble. You know, it's funny, the definition of integrity is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. It's funny how that plays into the real world and your personal lives. You just have to be a good person sometimes. All the time, not sometimes. But it goes hand in hand with trust. And it's just the same thing I keep talking about, is treating everyone with respect. And I know I'm like beating all these things with a dead horse, because it's so amazing how small of a percentage of people have these qualities in our industry. And I'm talking about design in general. And I think like success sometimes is measured by a person's talent, but again, you know, so many of us are talented, that really isn't always the case. So trust is huge. And I know I've talked about it in the other categories, but you know, sometimes you have to trust that you're going to get through it too. You have to have your own faith in yourself, you know, and in a room of like 50 people, not everyone's going to have that trust in you, but if you trust that you're capable and you can get through it, you will. But building trust with clients, like I've been talking about, is huge. I mean, Bruno Murray is huge. The fact that I'm still working with him, and all these people already know that I've left my just recent job that I was at, and they're all still coming with me. But the crazy thing is they all encouraged me to go. They all told me to start my own firm, every single one of them. The Irvine Company, the Bruno Murray client, I could name like 15 of them. And it's crazy because when I was gonna leave IA originally in Orange County, one of my clients, now I'll get to the next 2 slides, he actually offered to back my company originally. It's this one. So M4, I call this a down and dirty space. We had like nothing. So the fact that I could put a wood wall in there was like great. They basically had no money to build it out, and I did the best I could to make it look cool. So this client, when I was at Orange County and I was thinking of quitting, and I again had reached like as far as I could go, he said, Christie, I'll give you $250,000 for 10% of your company. I felt like I was like on Shark Tank or something. and I did not take his offer to start your own firm. And he just said that he saw something in me that was different than other architects he had dealt with. And I'm not licensed yet, I should preface that. But me and Tiffany, who's in the crowd, are working on that by the end of this year. When you work that many hours, you don't have time to take tests. But now I'm going to make time to take tests. Anyway, so he, when I left my job, they did an expansion, and he handed that to me. I didn't have to apply for it. I didn't have to do anything for it. He handed it to me because he wanted to stay with me, and he saw the value in what I brought to the table originally. And again, when I left IA, I went to this company called RMD Group, and they didn't have an architecture firm. I kind of went in there to run one and be their creative director until they found another one. And so he handed it to me, and it was like, it's humbling when that happens, but I built a trust with him. And that trust meant that I went to a place where I had no support. I didn't know who was going to work on the drawings with me, but I knew at that point I could put a permit set together in my sleep, and he knew I would be able to make it happen for him in the time that he needed it. And I think that like kind of led into the fact that like I built that trust because I realized, I also recognize that I'm not great at everything, right? So you rely on the people on your team to excel the things they're awesome at, right? And it's like he knew that even if I didn't know how to do it, I'd find someone and I'd seek out someone that was awesome at that thing, and they'd come alongside me and support me. And well, we made it happen. But again, like trust goes into team members and appreciating them, whether they're an intern or you're out of school or 10 years your senior, you appreciate every single person. And then that kind of goes into confidence. So when do you be confident? When do you not be confident? Well, at that moment, I had to be confident in the fact that I could take on this project. And I had to be confident in the fact that I could do it for him. And the reason why I left IA, so I was working on this project, Alteryx, and we hired RMD Group, where I was at. I just quit on Tuesday. We did the VW bus that you see there. I worked with them. They built that and made it. RMD Group then went on to have a show called RMD Garage. So I reenacted in one of the episodes the install of that bus. It was not real or reality. It was redone. And that CEO of the company, he saw something in me and wanted to hire me, but I was hesitant for a while because it's terrifying. So when I was presented the offer to work for him, it was start my own firm or work for him. And I knew I wasn't ready to start my own firm at that point. I knew I had some things to learn about the business that I didn't see at IA. There was a lot of things that you don't see when you work for a large corporation. But I had confidence I could go there and I could take on that department. So that's where confidence comes in. It's like, when do you have confidence? When do you not have confidence? I knew I could take work with me. So I knew, okay, he had trust in me. And again, that goes hand in hand with confidence, but you shouldn't have confidence when you don't fully know what you're doing. And that's when you need to admit and be honest, and like, it's like all those things just keep coming around and around. Like none of them work without each other. And so I knew what I needed to do to get to that. And I was like, okay, how are we gonna do this? So the cool part is, so I'm at RMD, right? And there's one junior designer there at the time who had recently graduated from here, and saw how incredibly talented she was. And then I brought in a couple other people. Tiffany, who I graduated with back in 2009, brought her in. Thank the Lord, life just worked out that way. And then hired Denise, who's actually currently a student here, and had another person who no longer is there now, but the four of us kind of came together, and I don't even know how we did some of the things that we did. So I just want to show you a little bit about how I went to a place that only did exhibit design, and somehow, some way we were able to pull out some architecture projects. So one of the ones we did was Calvary Chapel, and we basically took their entire campus. And so this is part of I guess why the nonprofit thought started for me. Churches and nonprofits can't afford expensive architects. They can't afford expensive designers. And ever since I was a little kid, it's like those people that always saw me and that were always there for me and supporting me. Well, nonprofits kind of need a bigger entity to support them too. And so when we were working for Calvary, they couldn't hire us to take us through the whole thing, but they could at least hire us to come up with concepts for them to take them out of the maroon and green, very ugly 80s, I don't even know how to tell you how ugly it was, style that they were in, to something a little bit more modern, but still cost effective. It's like the $40 square foot space I showed you. It's not the best space I've ever designed, but it was the cost per square foot that we had, right? You design based into a budget, not based on this $1 million per square foot thing that you want it to be. So we did this for them. And again, this is my team, right? It's just me and a few of us. It's not like I have 30 people working for me. And we showed them this concept, and then we kept working together, and we developed more marketing strategy, renderings, and start building out other spaces. So this is another one in Irvine that we designed. It's kind of like a man cave office concept. And then this is a killer. So this client walks in with a board that had been kind of beat up. It had seen better days, and the car wash he showed us looked like, I don't know, kids' playground on crack, maybe. It just was I don't know what it was. It was really bad. We had, as a team, 3 days to design this car wash. 3 days. And this car wash, the thing is about architecture when you're doing ground up is you have to get these things approved by the city board. So this thing had to be legitimate enough for the city of Compton to approve this and allow him to build it. And I'm like, wow, how are we gonna do this in 3 days? So again, me recognizing the need for a team, I can't do this alone. We designed it in 3 days, branded it, and pulled it off for him, created boards, this wasn't even it. We had to do a full presentation for him. We had to talk about the property, do all this stuff together. And again, it's well, in school it takes you a month sometimes to do projects, and then you get into the actual architecture world and you have 5 minutes to design. I hand sketched the heck out of that project too. It's I'm hand sketching while they're rendering, while someone else is doing drawings, and then another person's doing the presentation. Not one moment was it me alone. It's you are successful when you allow the people on your team to fill that role, to play on their strengths and support you. And it's amazing how they'll come together and help you. I mean, we did not leave early those days, but we got it done. So in the midst of all this, and me working at RMD, I go to Mexico once a month, and I'm part of a nonprofit. And part of where this kind of goes into before I get back into the other topics is I started going there with them, and I recognized we would go out there and do construction, build people homes, build shelters for women that were out there. We went to boys' homes, did a lot of construction. I've poured a lot of concrete, become an expert at it. So if you need help, I'm here. There's just a lot of things that we would do, but the thing that I recognized when I'd go out there, and I'd go out there with a construction, he was a civil engineer, and that civil engineer and I were talking about this car wash together. And so he kind of got me started going on these trips. And we would go out there and we were like, oh, there's a better way to do that. So we would hand sketch on the spot how to better build these homes, or how to better put up these walls, or how to better lay the concrete. And we were just thinking, okay, well, him and I are both experts. He's an expert at civil engineering and structural engineering. Well, everyone's like, what's civil engineering? You know, they figure out how to make the land work. And, you know, you don't understand what they do, but they have to figure out a lot of things, like where the water goes and the slope of everything, and just lots of stuff that you don't understand or appreciate or see. But structural, everyone understands, because like they make sure everything stands up, right? And so we would work together, and it was like, gosh, like I really wish these nonprofits knew of a place, and I know there's other nonprofits out there that do this, but that they can get better engineering services and architectural services at a lower cost or for free. And so I was just like, gosh, I've always wanted my own nonprofit, because I wanted to use all this blood, sweat, and tears for some good. And so I started thinking about it, and I would go out there and do these things. So Frontline Missions asked me to be a board member so I can assist when they go out and do these projects. I was like, okay, cool, totally down. And it became like my passion. Like these kids became my kids. I would see them monthly, and it was like, it's crazy because it made my childhood and everything I went through have a purpose. Because I could look at those kids, and I, thanks to Duolingo, am 37% fluent in Spanish, but I'm not 100%. So there's a lot of things I can't talk to them about. There's like a massive language barrier. But just like all those people saw me when I was a kid, I could walk up and I could see exactly and understand exactly what they're going through. I mean, I touched on a very high level of my life. There's a lot deeper of a version. And so I can like look at these kids and understand. I mean, when you grow up with your father working a million hours, you never see him. So I felt like I didn't have a father for 99% of my life. My mother checked out, I don't know, when I was like 8. I can't even remember. As soon as we started struggling financially, she became very depressed, which is natural for parents. And so I felt like an orphan. I was already trying to fend for myself and pay for myself. I'd save up the money I'd get for like food, so I wouldn't eat a lot unless there was like food on the table. I mean, naturally didn't eat a lot, but like I already understood, you know, I was like fending for myself, went through some things. So when I started going, there was like a few kids that they like latch on to you. And you know, if you've been through stuff, like how important it is to maintain that relationship with those kids and make them feel like you remember them every time you go back. And so like I would see the progression, because in Mexico, it's like you got to be going through some crazy stuff as a kid to get put into an orphanage. And you can only imagine, like some of these kids are like prostituted like crazy, beaten like you wouldn't believe. Most of them have scars everywhere. And so like I was just like, oh gosh, you know, I really want to do something to help these kids. So you go to the orphanage, and like to the naked eye, it looks like a decent orphanage, but to someone like me who's been building for now 15 years, it is built so poorly. There's leaks everywhere, there's cracks everywhere. They've got to redo and rip down almost the whole thing. And I was just like, gosh, like I want to stop that. I want to like intervene and like say, you can still build this cost effectively and do it properly. So that's where like the confidence comes in. But the nonprofit decided that they were going to then build a missionary campus in Santo Tomas. So Santo Tomas is like, it's basically Baja. It's farm town. There's like hardly any, there's no running water. It's really, really desolate. It's pretty much desert land and farmland. There's dirt roads everywhere, hardly any power. And so when we would keep going, that's where one of the boys' homes was. And they decided, you know, they really wanted to buy land and put like at least a community center and a church there. So these people had a place like of refuge to go. And so at that point, I was like, okay, cool, I can do a church. So they're like, oh, Christie, can you design a church on the side? I'm like, yeah, no big deal. Well, somehow, some way, I don't even remember when it transitioned, it turned into this land being available next to the boys' home, and it's 22 acres, which is about 1 million square feet. And I was like, so wait, what? I can't do that in my free time. Like, that's not going to be possible. But because of how much knowledge I had and all the stuff that I would tell them about every time I went and all the construction we did, and them just knowing me as a person, they trusted me with it. So now I'm basically running and leading that project. And it's 8 ground up buildings, but we're going to build it to code, like a legitimate, building out here. We're working with an actual, like, legit contractor and the government. So these are some of the people. So James is the founder of Frontline that I go on all these trips with. And this is just a start, by the way, I should deviate. We're going to be building in Uganda and Haiti and Sudan and all over the world. So we're not limited to Mexico. And this is going to be 50% of the work that I do at my corporation. So 50% of the work I do is going to be for nonprofits and, basically those that are in need all over the world, because that's my passion. And I feel like the people on my team that I know are coming with me have the same passion and will understand the desire to give back in design. The cool thing about this campus, so there's a women's shelter close by. And this is where people go for refuge out there when they're being battered and abused. Some of the women get into prostitution and drug abuse because of that to support their kids. So this is a place for them to get back on their feet. So these two kind of go hand in hand. So the land is literally next door to the boys' home. And it's crazy that we even found it and that's available. I mean, it's already hard to buy land in Mexico as it is. So this is the land. It has a water well, which is crazy. There are a lot of things that we need to do. It already has some power, but it's mostly flat, which is amazing. And it's pretty much kind of awesome. So I have started working on this, and during the process of it, I was like, all right, guys, like, I can't do this on the side. My team wants to help, but I really feel like to some extent they should get paid for this work. So, I'm gonna like leave that up for a second while you guys look at it and start by saying like, okay, so how did I get to all this? Sorry. When it's cold, it's just my nose runs and I can't help it. So I set goals, guys. If you're gonna get anywhere in life, you need to set goals for yourselves. Set a goal, but do not just set the goal, put a date to that goal. Because if you set a goal and you don't put a date, you're never gonna hit that goal. I promise you. I procrastinated getting my architecture license for 10 years now, and Tiffany's shaking her head because we're trying to take the exams together. But just set a goal and put a date to it. And don't give up on your goals. I mean, there are times when I was like, all right, I'm not gonna be able to graduate, or I cannot get through another week of this. And I wanted to give up so many times, and life sucked a lot. But it's like crazy to know that when you persevere and you don't give up on your goals. I mean, I'm standing here today saying I'm a CEO. It's weird. It's crazy. But you just have to acknowledge the sacrifices that it's going to take to get to those goals. You need to understand the impact it's going to have on your life, and then make choices to allow you to have a life, because surrounding yourself with amazing people is important. But determine your worth so you don't give up on your goals. Because a lot of people, like I said, told me that I couldn't do it and told me that I wasn't worth it. But then a lot of people told me that I was. A lot of clients told me to do what I'm doing now. But I think that like faith that I had, I mean, for me, it was my faith in God that carried me through as I was a kid. It's different for all of you, I know. But that was what carried me through as a kid. And I think that kind of goes hand in hand with whatever it is that you need to get you through those moments, like people or your faith or whatever it is, that's important. And you need to hone in on that, because that's what's going to get you through the tough times. But the creating deadlines is huge, and just recognizing when it's time to move on to the next steps to achieve your goal. So every time I left one of those jobs, I realized, okay, I can't hit my goal and stay here. I need to get to the next place. And just be aware of those situations that are preventing your growth. Because when you stick to something just because you're too afraid to make a change, you're going to stay stagnant in the position that you're in. And I think like becoming an expert in as many things in that field that you're trying to achieve is huge. So like what goes alongside with that, and that's work ethic. You have to put in the hard work. You have to appreciate every job, even though like making copies for people kind of sucks sometimes. But like I didn't know how to use a computer when I started working at Kinko's, and then I came out knowing how to do the full creative suite, and which helped me a lot. I didn't know what internet was in 2001. That's so sad. But when you come from a poor family and in 2001 internet's not popular, you don't have internet in your house. You go to your friend's house to like use their internet or watch cable, which I wasn't allowed to watch a lot of things anyways, so it's fine. But but you have to get as much out of each job and recognize whether you're like working at Papa John's or Taco Bell. You know, I'm a super shy person. The fact that I can talk to you guys and even make eye contact is crazy, but that's only because I made copies for like 1,000 people. And you had to talk to them, you had to ask what they wanted, and you had to be confident. And I was like, okay, well, thank God I had that job, because again, I'm like a very shy person. I don't like looking at people in the eye or the fact that they're looking at me. So I just really appreciated it. But you can't rush work experience, guys. Like that's one of the biggest thing I like tell a lot of people that I work with is you can't rush the work experience. You got to appreciate the people that are ahead of you. You can't try to beat them out. If they're your supervisor, they're there for a reason. You're not going to know better than them all the time, but sometimes you will, and at those times you'll speak up. Because I think that's the best supervisor, right? Like I was telling you, that design director, design principal, he would ask my opinion. Everyone can make a contribution to your design. It is not one mind, one person. You're better together. You're better with everyone's opinions. And then, you know, again, like just having that same humbleness and recognizing the limit of your knowledge. But the more mistakes you make and the more honest you're about it, the more you'll grow. So don't be afraid of that either. And I think right now, like the issues really are, you know, it's just a change in person. So one person's either going to be willing to put in the work or they're not. And that's the person that's going to rise above, is the one that's willing to put in the work. So this campus, right? So I realized I can't do it alone. So I approached my entire team, and whether they're an intern or 1 year out of school, they all have value to this process and to this project. But this was the start of me realizing it's time to take that leap. It's time to start my own company. And this I knew would carry part of it, but I knew that I needed all that other work. And so we started designing it and we broke it down. So this is like extremely preliminary. So I'm gonna like go through this really fast through each building, just to give the donors like an overall look at what we're trying to accomplish. Because in reality, you can't actually design a job site without knowing what the land is and getting a full land report and understanding the kind of buildings that go on there. So that's the part of the process that we're in right now. But the crazy thing is to be able to tell you that, you know, my team and I are going to be running and leading 1 million square feet in Mexico, and then another 100, which, well, they don't know that, but I haven't told them everything. There's like 100,000 square feet here. It's just crazy, and that's just the start. I haven't, like I said, I don't even have a logo yet, and I have more square feet than I know what to do with. And I have a lot of clients coming up to me and saying we're ready for the next build. They've like literally been waiting for me to quit. So I think like in a nutshell, I don't want to talk forever. I really wanted to end on this because the fact that that character and all the stuff that I learned, my honesty about this situation, knowing that I needed an architect that knew more than me to come alongside me to work on this, the recognition that I had for all the people in my life. I still talk to Ed all the time. He's not this professor I once had that I never speak to ever again. I go to my professors when I need them again. I go to my old bosses. I still reach out to the architect and the designer or design principal from my first LA job all the time. And they respond and they're there for me. So it's like when you appreciate them and you keep that relationship going, they're there for you forever. And so it's like humbling because I want to be that person for someone else. Just like I wanted to be that person for those kids. You know, it's really cool. It makes you feel like, you know, your life and your experience was worth something. But I really just wanted to reiterate the fact that I know you guys get design tips all the time. It's like I wanted to step away from the design tips and talk about like real world and reality because it's hard sometimes. Like being a woman in the industry, sometimes I walk into a room and the first question I get is like, how old are you? Did you graduate like last year? Or I'm like, well, thank you, but I have done this for a while. Or gosh, the worst experience I ever had as a woman. So it happens, ladies, it's not over. I had a meeting and I was the only woman in the room, and this client of mine had asked kind of in like a, I don't know, one way or another, try to ask me out. Okay, if I can give you a mental picture, he looks like Howard Stern, like to the T. I mean, like earring and all. And one day, like I come out of a meeting, he's like, you're lucky to be talking to me. I'm like, oh God. So I like walk away. And the next, I didn't say anything. I go into the next meeting and I'm in a room with the Irvine company and the top brokers around. And he wasn't happy with how I handled the last situation. So I walk in and he makes some very hurtful remarks about the fact that I look like I was in like, basically like videos, if you know what I'm talking about, or worked on a street corner kind of a situation. And that he questioned if I even had a high school education. And I'm sitting there with like, literally like 10 men. And every part of me was like, okay, you want to say a lot of mean and nasty things right now, but I got to hold it together. And I just simply said, if I wasn't qualified, I wouldn't be running and leading your project. So can we get back to the topic at hand? And I just kept going. And so it's like, we got to talk about the real world. Like it's out there, it's there. You guys are going to face like different things here and there, but how do you reply? I could have been so arrogant at that moment. I could have been all kinds of things. But when they left the room, the Irvine company and the brokers stayed in the room because it's their client, right? They can't react just as much as I can't react. They all said that I handled that very well, considering they probably all thought I wanted to jump across the table and strangle him. And so it's just like, I just wanted to be honest and be real and totally like candid with you guys about life. And it is hard. It's not going to be easy when you guys graduate. But if you love what you do and you're passionate about it, you'll do it forever. I could not imagine not doing architecture. It just gets me so excited. I still hand sketch all the time to get to these drawings. I mean, I sat in a Starbucks with him and we sketched out this site. And it doesn't look very different than what you see there. So like hand sketching, all the things that they force and tell you to do, I have to hand sketch in front of clients all the time. It's like still a benefit. And they're impressed when you hand sketch right in front of them. But the cool thing about this campus and the nonprofit is it's to provide all design services. So we are bringing together industrial designers, graphic designers, architects, engineers. We're going to be develop products for the community. There's going to be a K through 12 school and then an adult school. So we're going to be, through my company, developing products for them to learn how to like basically weld and put wood together. So we're going to teach them all the skills that it takes to be successful in Mexico. But we're going to do a lot of product design, furniture design. We're going to design everything and they're going to build it there locally so we don't have to pay anyone else. So it's just really cool to know like we can do that and improve a community. But I just wanted to end on the fact that like you guys just set a goal and don't give up on it. And, always keep those people that make an impact in your life there and never just hold on to them because they're going to be the ones to encourage you when you get to those rough times and you want to give up. But I really am humbled to be here today and I thank you all for listening to me and hopefully you're not bored out of your mind. But thank you. So I don't know if anybody has questions. Good question. So I went through a few months of figuring out how to do that because as a nonprofit, you're not supposed to hire employees technically. Everyone's supposed to be volunteer. So the strategic way to do that is to raise money so that you can pay corporations at a discounted rate, or like for instance, what we're going to do is we're going to pay a lot of people a contract, so per hour. That removes the overhead cost of managing a company. And then we're going to ask them to donate a portion of their time back to the project to compensate for that. So that is the complicated part that we had to figure out. Like as a corporation, we're going to take on 50% of the work, but it will be at cost of their hourly rate. But you calculate in the rates of HR and accounting and all of those into the contract. And you actually present them with the actual contract. It's voted on, approved, signed, and then you go from there. But it is complicated because a portion of their time has to be donated. And ultimately, it's just raising the money to do it. But a lot of what we're doing now is full 100% for free volunteers. So that's been huge. But once we get into needing to pay people, that's when we have to really raise the money. So that's what we're working on right now. Anybody else? Nope.
If you're thirsty, there's water right there.
Oh, I didn't notice that until you said that, actually. No, anyone else have any questions or anything? It's pretty quiet. Ed?
I just want to say thank you for coming back home. Thank you for taking some of the tough chats we had. We had quite a few of them, but I really treasure you. We've had some emotional conversations.
Yes, we have, so.
And very proud of you. Very proud of you.
Thank you.
Well, thank you for coming to visit us tonight, Christie. We appreciate it. Students, thank you for your great papers. Keep them coming. We'll see you guys. I love reading them, and we'll see you guys next week.